Alright, let's do this. Hey everyone, Shoot here. Happy Silksong Day. I'm here playing Demon Bluff instead. Respectfully, it's just not my thing. Metroidvanias don't really interest me. Any kind of platformer or like 2D game is not really for me. That's okay. Either way, I thought it would be fun to do a play-along in Demon Bluff. I think this will be a little bit more helpful for those who are still struggling with the game and with following lines of reasoning or with developing their own, as just kind of expositing all of my thoughts isn't necessarily followable or actionable advice. And if you struggle with seeing why I'm doing those things, I don't think those videos would help either. So I have blind mode on to start because I think it's a great learning tool to begin with blind mode and then potentially check what's going on in the deck after you've made some guesses or assumptions or logic. Also, unlike usual, I'm going to flip every card in the village to start with, because because I usually play for points, which means killing cards early. I am not going to do that this time. We're playing to get some good old-fashioned practice. Oh, and we have a witch. So, looking at everything we have, and that we know, I guess, where would you start and why? Kind of think about that for a second. Now, some of this is just like knowledge and tech. Whether you know it or not is just like a flat thing. So I'll give you some starts. First, so for starters, anytime a medium sees or claims to see a drunk or doppel, it is the truth. This is because of how their ability works. They learn a good character and its role. So, in rare instances, also, they changed the art a little bit. Look at that. In rare instances, mediums can randomly happen to look at a doppel or drunk. Because they're truthful, they see the drunk and doppel as they are. They don't see the disguised role, they see the real role of the character, like in this instance. It's when they're lying that they don't know that they're disguised. So if medium were lying, it would claim that number 5 is a real druid instead. Just a little bit of tech for you. And then the other gimme that we have is Scout. Now, we don't have a day-night cycle, so we don't have Lilis. And Scout is talking about Ba. And Scouts don't talk about characters you don't have. So we don't have Puka either, we just have Ba as our demon this round. So we've already narrowed down quite a bit of information. We know our demon, and we know that 2 of our characters are real. The next thing is other Scout talking about shaman. So we do have, in fact, shaman as well. The question becomes whether or not we have a counselor in play. We know we have shaman, and we know if we have drunk. If we have a counselor in play, we could have a second outcast, which means we could have a doppel as well. And that might explain why we have 2 duplicate pairs. If we don't have counselor, then one of these pairs is lying. This is where you kind of look at other relevant information. Hunter is talking about both witnesses here, at least more than likely. Witness is a very rare character. You will only see them, I swear it's like a 1 in 10. Like, they are very rare. I'm not sure why either. So witnesses talk about characters that have been affected by an evil. This usually implies either they've been corrupted by an evil or they've been turned by an evil, like puppet, like shaman, so on. The fact that they're all kind of covering each other in this area, though, is what is most suspicious. I think in my case, I'm going to kill number 7. And that means 8 was not affected by an evil. That also means that 7 and that 9 is lying as well. And this I hedged off of the scouts. The hunter combined with the scouts both being reasonable is what led me to that situation. And now we have our next bit of confusion. So no counselor, which means we don't have a second outcast. 5 is our drunk, and that is that. Hunter cannot be fake, because they would be telling the truth, and that can't happen. So, likewise, we don't have any corruption in play, because we know we have shaman. So 3 can't be corrupted, and 3 can't be evil, because then 1 would be evil, and we only have 1 evil left. So, we either have one of the scouts as our evil, or we have... Actually, I think it's just one of the scouts, and among both scouts, which do you think it is, and why? This is where you just have to, I guess, work on and improve your deduction and like your multi-step processing. Essentially, you just simulate what would happen in each instance, and then based off of that, you can make your kill. So in this case, it says that Ba is 2 cards away from closest evil. Well, alright. Let's see. So if this was true, and this was evil, that would be 2 away, and that would be 2 away. And that would mean that Shaman is not 3 cards away from closest evil, which checks out. If this was the real character, and this was evil, that would imply that this is Shaman, and then Shaman would be 1 away from this character, which doesn't work. And there you go. And 1 was Gemcrafter. So fantastic. And that was our Shaman pair. It was hidden by Witch, which just kind of happens. Actually, I could have flipped that sooner after I killed Witch. I didn't even think about that. Anyways, we'll try that again. So right off the bat, keep in mind, night cycle. Alright. So what immediately jumps out at you? What do we got? I'll take a drink of my soda while you're thinking. My chest. So, we only have 2 evils. 1 demon, 1 minion. We know we have Lilis as our demon because of the night cycle. Very valuable. Next is just sort of tech and or information that you kind of just know or you don't. Bishops that claim themselves have to be either corrupted, truthful, or puppet. We don't have puppet in this round. It's not possible. So that checks that off. Next is either corrupted or truthful. Because we don't have Puka, at best we have Poisoner. That would imply that Poisoner is either at 6 or at 4. 3 is saying that 4 is good. It's not likely. And 6, I'm not so sure about either. Arguably the bigger claim of the 2, or the biggest claim to look at, is the Scout. Scouts that talk about there being 4 cards of distance between evils are, and this also goes for hunters as well, but anything that's like 4 cards away is usually a big red flag. So, since we have the health to spare. Oh, look at that. So that was our doppelganger, actually. This implies that our original scout was right here, which is unfortunate, which means that 7, 5, and then 4 is evil. And 4 is a poisoner, which means 3 is poisoned. This allows us to do a Slayer check. Slayer is real. And then we can either do... We'll check a Druid first, because it's the free choice. Druid is real. So then Hunter is our other evil. Very interesting, though. And then we'll do our next village. I usually greed for points, so I rarely flip every card in a village nowadays, and I go much faster, but that's okay. No... Oh. So, no night cycle. We flip everything. So, give you a second to think about this. So, right off the bat, the first big red flag is Baker. Original Baker is always a real claim. It tells you that it's A, a good Baker, and 2, that it is not corrupted. So this ability should go off. Baker, I am working on a Baker guide, but I haven't. It's not out yet. Anyways, on reveal, Baker changes one random unrevealed good villager into a Baker. We only had 2 cards unflipped. We had 2 and we had 1 unflipped. Wretch can't change because Wretch is an outcast, and outcasts can't turn into villagers. That leaves Dreamer. Because we know that this is a real Baker, Dreamer should have flipped if it was a good character. Because it didn't change, we know that 1 is in fact evil. So this was a truthful character right off the bat. And then I will let you think about this next. This ties back into what I was talking about earlier with Wretch, but I'll give you a second to piece it together yourself. So, because Wretch can't be a fake evil, this means that Puppeteer has to be the Slayer at 7. And we can use Slayer tech to check that. So again, if you don't know, you can use Slayer to check dead evils. A corrupted or evil Slayer will say that it couldn't kill them, whereas a real Slayer will do nothing. Because it's already dead, it can't use its ability on them. This is a very huge piece of tech for Slayer, as it makes them far more valuable and more consistent. So, we kill Slayer. Great. We know 6 is real, because it ratted out Puppet. Good job. And we know 5 is real, because it ratted out, or because we checked it on Puppet as well. So, all we have left is Night. Moving back, Night cycle. Beautiful. We're gonna flip. We're gonna flip. Now, this is worth noting. On day-night cycles, some character abilities will refresh at the end of the night. Druid, Fortune Teller, Jester, and Judge all will refresh. So, in that interest, I'm going to use Fortune Teller on 3 and on 7. I will explain why a little bit later, but I'll let you think about why I'm doing it on 3 and 7 first. We don't have actually enough cards to do a refresh, so I missed out on a second usage, but that's okay. So let's think about this one for a second. So, first things to look for in a village. Any immediate self-checkers that are good. Confessors is the obvious one. It's good. It claims to be good. It's good. Zero Cure Alchemists and Wretches are also immediate good characters. Original Bakers, claiming to be original Bakers, are also good. We only have the obvious one, so we're checking that off the box. Our next important thing is to figure out if this Plague Doctor is real and or if the Druid is real. So we're going to use it. And I'm going to use it on Confessor, Plague, and 3. There is in fact a Plague Doctor. Fantastic. This moves us on to our 7 and our 3 situation. Because we use Fortune Teller on 7 and 3. The reason is the following. We know that 3 is good because Lilis killed it. And Lilis prioritizes good characters first. Next is the Alchemist. 2 Cure Alchemist should almost always ring alarm bells in your head, because the odds that they actually cured 2 corruptions is very, very low. You need like the perfect setup, and or you need like a Plague Doctor plus a Puka or a Poisoner to get like the right lineup for that to happen. We know we don't have Puka, and we know we have Puppeteer as well. So odds are this village is just Lilis, Puppet, and Puppeteer, which means there is only the one corruption from Plague Doctor. This is where you have to decide a couple things. Do you want to kill Alchemist first? Do you want to use Plague Doctor on Alchemist first? Or do you want to try killing Fortune Teller? I'm going to opt for killing Alchemist. It was in fact evil. Interesting. This is another fun thing, because Puppet... Actually, I'll hold off a second. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. This is a play-along after all. So, between these two, who could be Puppet? Who has to be Puppet, I suppose, is the more accurate thing to say. And might as well just, you know, whoop. Because we know that they told the truth. Good job on them. Yes, it has to be number 8. Because Puppet tells the truth. This character lied. That doesn't work out. Now, we have pretty much confirmed that 6 is also evil. But why is it evil as opposed to corrupted? The main reason is because none of the other characters can be lying. This is true. This is true. And this is true. So you couldn't be corrupted because you would have to be evil, and that wouldn't make sense. And you have to be good because you were confirmed. So it seems that 3 was the one that got randomly targeted as... Oh, it was Alchemist. Interesting. I wonder if it cured the corruption then. It must have cured the corruption. And we just couldn't see it then. Oh well. Moving back, we have 1 evil. So, probably blow through this pretty quickly. When it comes to 1 evil villages, they are always Puka, at least for now. I guess that's just how it's coded. I think it's kind of whatever, but, you know. I'll hold off a second. So, again, Confessor is a great starting point. Now, when you have Puka alone and Plague Doctor, I'd say the game kind of plays itself. In general, Puka will rat itself out pretty easily, because there's nobody else to rat out instead. So, it's generally not hard in the first place. But Plague Doctor makes it even easier because you can just find a corrupted or a liar, kill them, and then just find Puka with Plague Doctor for free. This should be Puka. The reason is because of Poet. Poet is claiming Equidistant. There can't be one pair of evils. You have to be corrupted or evil. And then we have Knight. Lol. You are likely... I guess there's potential for... No, there's not, actually. Never mind. Yes, there is. I guess it could be 1 or 2. Because one of these is corrupted. But we'll go with 2. You were corrupted. And then, yeah, 1 is evil. So yeah, you were corrupted, like I was expecting. But equidistant, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you were corrupted and you were lying. So yeah, 1 evil villages aren't too bad. Again, you find your launch point, so any kind of corruption or lie that you can find, like this, and then you go for it. It's also easier because you don't have a lot of confusing characters to work with, so as long as you can find 3 lies in a row, Puka is the center of those 3 lies, typically speaking. Moving on forward. Make sure my audio is still good. Audio check. Audio check. Beautiful. Man, it's weird to play so slowly. Because I'm so used to being like... Go, 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 go. I don't know, it's weird. Anyways, back in a 2 evil village, no night cycle. We're gonna flip it all. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one, man. We flipper, we flipper, we flipper. Interesting claims going on. Give you a second to think about this. So, again, my immediate launching off point is number 6. 2 cures are very, very rare to get, especially without Plague Doctor on the map. We have no Plague Doctor. This is almost certainly a lie. At best, we have Poisoner and Puka, and there's like some magical circumstance where it lines up perfectly, but it's very unlikely. The question is, do we kill them, or do we try to check them some other way? We don't really have a lot of cards that are active. All we have is Judge with an active ability. So I'm just going to kill Alchemist for the information first. We have Counselor. Interesting. This implies that either Gemcrafter or Judge is the outcast that Counselor created. Because they're both hidden, this means that it's either a drunk or it is a doppelganger. And because we can't see our other outcast, the one that we have originally, we actually have both drunk and doppel in play. Does that suck? You bet it does. Speaking of which, 3 is saying that 6 is good. So 7 should not be... 7 could be drunk. Because 7 could be drunk, claiming that 3 is good, when 3 is evil, and 3 could be evil, claiming that 6 is good, when it's not. So, and also, obviously, we don't see any other duplicate of Judge on the map. So, we're going to use our Judge on Counselor just to see what they have to say for themselves. It is a real Judge, because it caught the lie. And we're going to... We pretty much guaranteed that this is in fact drunk. So we're going to kill 3. Oh, you were corrupted. Okay, so then never mind. It is actually Doppel. That is the situation. This also means that we have a poisoner slash puka, which is just puka in reality. Puka can't be here because we'd be telling the truth, and you would have been corrupted. Which means puka is just here, and you're a liar. And I guess that means that actually. What's going on with medium, though? It's true. Could it be true that 4 is puka? I don't think hunters can see themselves, right? As, evil. And 5 couldn't be evil because of... it's telling the truth. So it couldn't be corrupted by puka either. Weird. We do have a drunk. So 8 must be a drunk then. Yeah. Whoa, this is cool. Look at this. I don't know. I do have a thing for the original. Yeah, that was drunk. I do have a thing for the original art, but I'll apply this for a little bit. Yeah, I was getting like imposter syndrome for a second there. Yeah, that was drunk, in fact. Weird. It's showing drunk as the medium instead of the drunk art. That's kind of a bug. Oh well. There you go. We are gonna flip the village. Perfect. Give you a second to think about this one. Think about the claims being made. Any potential duplicates? Any potential self-outings or concerns? So, immediately we have an original baker. They are the truth. This also means by proxy. Well, I guess I'll hold off on that one. It's not that important of a distinction. We have Lilis as well, because of Night Cycle. We have 2 bishops. We have 1 empress. We have 3 bishops, sorry. Ow. We have a baker here. It may seem unlikely, but it is random chance. Which good villager baker chooses is just random. So if it happens to be the last card that you flip over, it is what it is. It's a shame, but you know, it's just the way it is. The claim is also good because I don't see any oracles around, and so it's not corrupted more than likely and or evil. It's not like a fake baker. We do have 2 outcasts in play in the top right. I don't know what determines how many you have. It's just kind of random, but we do have 2 in play. So there are 2 possibilities. What are those 2 possibilities? I'll let you think about that for a second. Possibility 1. Bomb is real. We'll assume bomb is real for the time being because it's in our best interest. Bomb is real, and 3 was our other outcast that got killed. Possibility 2. Bomb is real, and we have a drunk or a doppel in hiding among all the characters. Given how many duplicates we have, I am much more inclined to believe the second option. 3 of a character does not happen by coincidence, essentially. Also, 7, 1, and 9 are being pointed at by the same 2 bishops, which is interesting. And funnily enough, none of the bishops are pointing at Bombardier. Questionable. Very questionable. So, first order of business. Do a self-check, I think, on 4. 3 and 7 both have to be good. Because 3 was good because it got killed by Lilis, and 7 is good because it's the original Baker. So you're real, which is good. Which moves us on to, I think we'll tackle 3, 9, and 7 first. 7 and 3 have to both be good. The question is whether or not 3 is I guess 3 or 9 is outcast. Very unlikely. Very, very unlikely. And if you look at Empress, 2, 4, and 5 all being good is a reasonable idea as well. So we're going to kill 6. Look at that art though. Hey yo. It's kind of cool though. Anyways. So, in fact, 3, 9, and 7 are all good. Or 3, 7, yeah, 3, 9, and 7 are all good. So 9 is telling the truth, which means that between 2, 5, and 4, there is an evil. This leads us to, I guess, our next issue. We know 4 is good. We know, and then we have 2 and 5 are both claiming the same thing. What this likely means, I'll just think about that for a second. It's hard. I'm kind of experimenting with this format of play along. It's kind of hard to know how much time to give or like when to let you kind of sit back and think as opposed to just kind of explaining it out. Because they're both claiming the same thing and only one of them can be evil because Empress is real. This likely implies that we have a drunk at 5 or 2 and the other is the evil. As to how you would know which is the evil and which is the drunk, we don't really have a way of finding that out. And we actually know this is the case because of Lilis. I'll let you think about why that is. This is relevant to basic character and or character tag information. So I'll let you think about that real quick. That is correct. Demons disguise as a character, as a unique villager. So essentially, they disguise as a character not in play. I kind of wish that it phrased it the same way that drunks do, because this can be a little bit confusing the way it says cannot claim or cannot double claim a good villager, a good character. But yeah, they claim essentially a unique villager in play. So none of these bishops are real. As in, neither of them are good. Well, neither of them are truthful. So one of them is drunk, and one of them is the evil. And there you go. We flip them. Baker spotted. Oof. Ouch. And we flip. So again, Judge is one of the characters that gets a refresh on their ability. So I'm going to go ahead and use it on 7 to do a self-check on the Judge itself. Good job. So a quick little freebie, but it's valuable to do this because flipping everything instantly can lose you out on valuable information or checks like this. Then we'll flip everything else. Go ahead and do this. There we go. Beautiful. Now. What do we got? To be fair, Fortune Teller also could have been used there. Hopefully you thought about that or realized that in the moment. That I was making a mistake. Oh. Ow. What was that? So, immediate claims that jump out at us. Oh, and I guess I'll just go ahead and get you fixed up too. Again, Lilis prioritizes killing good characters. This essentially means that the first character she kills is guaranteed to be good, because at that point in time, you've likely flipped there has to be at least a good character left unflipped, and so the first one she kills should be good, guaranteed. This put a very suspicious light on Architect, because Architect claims that there is more evil on the left side. That is not looking true. That is not looking very likely at all. In fact, it's pretty much impossible. Unless Plague Doctor were fake and Fortune Teller were evil, I don't think it would be possible for Architect to be telling the truth. This leads me to our Fortune Teller check. We're going to do Baker and Judge. Because we know that we've confirmed these two, we can do a check for Fortune Teller as a self-check. Had you done Fortune Teller sooner, back when I did Judge, you could have confirmed it and then had a second use of the ability to confirm other evils in their place. This leaves us with 2 Hunters and Oracle and Architect. This is obviously a lie. More than likely, these are all liars, and we just happen to have the corruption on this side as well. As for who is corrupted, that is a hard thing to say. But we're going to start with this Hunter. Checks out. Go for you. Checks out. 8 or 7. Oh, so 8 is evil. What do you know? Double check it. And 9 is our corrupted. Fair enough. 9 was our drunk. So yeah. Kind of a hard situation to figure out normally, but not terrible. And that's also where you could have used Fortune Teller to kind of check stuff for information with a second use. We flip a questionable claim. We'll do some more flipping. Fortune Teller. So again, we can should use the ability. Wretch is a great character. Again, Wretch can't be faked, at least not right now. I'm sure this will be changed eventually or reworked to be a more engaging or thought-provoking experience, because right now it's pretty simple. It's like, oh yeah, Wretch, 3. But Wretch for now can't be faked, which means you can do a lot of self-checks on Wretch. You can do Judge, you can do Fortune Teller, you can do... I mean, you could do Slayer, but that's not very smart. You can do... What is it? Druid? So because we have Lilis, and we have the extra reuse of the ability, I'm going to do Fortune Teller on Wretch and Alchemist. To be fair, the second choice doesn't really matter because we already have the 1 confirmed, so sort of irrelevant. Oh. Sort of a spoiler, so you're evil, but we'll get back to that in a second. Slight spoilers for the achievement. Flippa. Oh hey, look at that. Again, we have a second Fortune Teller. And it refreshes every character applicable, not just one of them. So we can do another check. And I'm feeling a little spicy. No, I'm not. We're just do another check on Wretch again. Nah, I'll do a little bit different. Because, again, Lilis targets a good character to kill first. And we know that confessors have to tell the truth. So we do a check on 4 and 5. So this is a liar, because we know that 4 and 5 are both good. Come back to that in a second. There we go. And they've refreshed. So, again, immediately off the bat, 2-care alchemists are not long for this world. They are pretty much always liars. and usually evils, outside of instances with like, you know, Puka, Poisoner, but even then, you don't see 2 cure claims very often. There you go. And we don't have Puka anyways. The reason I knew this was evil is because of the skin unlock. There is an achievement I saw for using a fortune teller on 2 evils, and so when it popped, that's how I knew that 7 and 9 were both evils. A little spoiler there. Next is fortune teller. Also, we'll come back to this in a second. But what is the big deal here? Think about why that matters. Because demons are relevant, are important to understand, to keep in your mind about who they are. But coming back to this, what we got going on, huh? Also a fun little claim, Oracle is confirming that we have a shaman in play, and we also have Oracle over here. Moving back, I guess, to this claim just real quick to clear up any confusion. This can be a very easy trap to fall into. This Oracle is not lying. It's telling the truth. It's seeing Wretch as a minion role. It registers as a random evil minion to other characters. You cannot register as good or Wretch to other characters. Can only be a random minion role or as an evil. So this is true. It's just seeing Wretch as shaman. I've fallen into this trap before and killed Oracle because of it early on in my playtime. So you've had a moment. Going back to what I said earlier, demons disguise as a essentially not in play character. So there can be no real alchemists in play. So this alchemist has to be fake. And coincidentally, 2 corroborates this by claiming that 1 could be shaman. The more you know. Then we move down to fortune teller. Again, it claimed that 5 and 4 are, that there's an evil among 5 and 4, which cannot be the case. So, it also gets, oh, yeah, we'll put it on for a little bit, why not? Go off, queen. Oh, my back. Alright, moving on along. We flip him. We flip him. Return the most useless card. Beautiful. Here we go. So, 2 evils. We see a Bombardier. There's a claim that there's only 1 outcast. An immediate free check. Good job, Confessor. We love you. A bishop that suspiciously does not see 3 as an outcast. And no night cycle, which means no Lilis. So, first order of business, I would immediately use both druids on Bomb. No outcasts. There is Bomb. So 4 is likely pretty much just an evil. Yep. Great. Now that we have an evil established, we can do a self-check on Dreamer. You can sort of intuit information without doing self-checks for Dreamer, but it's sort of situational. And I feel like most of it's confirmation bias anyways. She is admittedly just very weak right now in the game. So, no hard feelings, it's just like, it is what it is. Nice. So, with this in mind, we can't have Puka. Puka couldn't be here, because obviously Twin Minion is telling the truth. It couldn't be here, because you would have to be corrupted. It can't be here, because you would have to be lying. And Puka also couldn't be here, because you would have to be lying as well. So, we don't have Puka, we only have Ba. And Ba has to be number 1. There you go. Moving on along. We have the night cycle back again. Oof, ouch. No abilities. Oh, there's an ability. So Druid does get the refresh. We are going to get the information from it. An interesting claim. Not necessarily false. Probably false, but we'll get there. Oh. Interesting, interesting. Oh, God. Ow. So, immediate interest to be taken. Original Baker. We know that's real. It's the claim. Original Baker. 4 has to be good. It got murked. Rest in peace. Oh, did they change Druid? I'm pretty sure Druid used to work with Lilis. Maybe I'm crazy though. Ah, whatever. We would have done it on Plague Doctor regardless of what happened, I think, so it's fine. Unless the second outcasts... No, it probably would have been Plague Doctor regardless. Okay. So, Original Baker. We flip 2. 2 says Druid. We flip 1. 1 it says Empress. These are both, more than likely, real Bakers. Because it would be very unlikely for us to just so happen to flip the cards at the very end after the first one, and then both be, or one of them be evil. This leads us to a other complicated question, which is what they claim to be. If they're both telling the truth, which makes sense, then you were a real Empress, and you were a real Druid. We know we have... Do we know we have Shaman? I was thinking about Shaman, but this is probably a Shaman situation. So Lilis and Shaman, and or Lilis and... Probably just Shaman. The only cause for consideration is Plague Doctor. Keep in mind, when a good villager is transformed into Baker, it keeps any corrupted status effect it has. So if it was corrupted because of Puka or Poisoner or Plague Doctor, it will keep that corruption. It does not override it. Next claim. Both sides are equally evil. If this is true, then 9 cannot be evil. Because we only have one midpoint in a 9-card village. And thus, 9 would have to be innocent. So, I think our best starting point is to kill 5, because 5 is lying. 5 is not lying. It was unlikely, but this was a possibility. It is possible that Plague Doctor was fake. I was going to give it the benefit of the doubt, because we have 2 outcasts in play, and so it's more likely that what we see is real, but it is not the case. Because we know that it's real, we're going to use Plague Doctor to get confirmation on one other innocent. So we know that 9 is also innocent. So we kill 8. And it is in fact a Shaman situation. This means that either we have Drunk and Doppel, we have Drunk and something at 4, or we have Doppel and something at 4. I'll let you think about what this also means for other situations. I'm going to point you specifically at the Druid claim plus the Baker and Empress situation, and how this helps you figure things out. So yes, exactly right, random viewer. For starters, because this is a fake plague doctor, this means that this plague doctor did not actually corrupt somebody. Evil plague doctors do not corrupt a random villager. That would be crazy if it did. It is still possible that 4 is a plague doctor actually, and it was murked. But that is very hard to account for, and we don't really have a way of managing that. But because there's no outcasts among 7, 8, and 9, because it's truthful, we know that for sure. This means that 9 is not our doppelganger or drunk. So 1 claiming to be an empress means that this should be our shaman pair. And this should be our... I guess you can't be our doppel pair either. Well, that should work out. Should it? One of you might be corrupted. Because one of you should definitely be... weird. I guess it's kind of strange. I'm not sure. But either way, 9 has to be real. So... this means that we have an evil on 6, 7, or 5. And that means that we have an evil on 6. Alright, fine. You got me. Ah. Unfortunate, but we did have the situation that I was talking about. To be fair, I probably should have checked Knight first. Because it could have been... it should have been, and or could have been, the innocent. And thus it would have been a free check. Good job, Drunk. You won. Either way, that was a long enough video, I think, for a good start. But I was thinking along the right lines. It just so happened that the corrupted... the Plague Doctor corrupted the Baker, which just so happened to claim to be the another duplicate of a role that we had, which was very off-putting. I think if I had thought about that a little bit longer, I could have realized that one of them was corrupted, and thus 4 was a real Plague Doctor, but just a very interesting situation to be in. And even then, I don't think I would have had... I think it still would have been a 50-50 either way. Oh well. Anyways, that'll do it for this video. I think that's enough time to do a little play-along. Hopefully this has helped some of you. I am working on character guides. I am trying to figure out a good format for it. Because there's no create your own village, it's very hard to get footage that actively shows what I want in the character. Baker is really the hardest because it's so random. You know, if I'm like trying to show off their ability and they happen to change the last character I flip over, then it's like, great, I've wasted my time. And if they're corrupted, then it's like, great, I've also kind of wasted my time for this part of the video at least. So either way, I've been Shoot. Hopefully you enjoy Silksong if you are into that kind of game. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.